220. 220 exchanges in 365 days. One property, all under the one roof. That's a lot of sales in the Northern Beaches. We're going to talk about who's been buying these properties, what properties they are. Stay tuned. Josh, you made some entertainment this morning watching me implode.
Yes, camera difficulties. Apologies to the audience. We're a little bit late this morning, but better late than never.
Apologies
exciting
to Lisa Novak as well. You know, she's the one that's very strict on this.
Yes, be on time. But yeah, the most sales in the Northern Beaches under one roof. Mark, this has been a project we've had a lot of input into, and it's something you're very proud of as well, isn't it?
You know, it's big, and I think if one that doesn't really understand the industry, like yesterday, for example, we did 4 sales, and that's just in one day, and we've listed a warehouse and in the Frenchs Forest, a warehouse complex in Frenchs Forest, which it's like a city. There's 85 warehouses over almost three, effectively 6, but 3 massive levels. 4 when you look at the storage, and then there's 170 storage unit, all but maybe a dozen unsold warehouses and a dozen unsold storage units. So there's not many left, but it's well done to everyone who's been selling them hard. Josh, Bidan, Billy, all the sales guys and girls. Lisa's had a couple in there as well. Glenn, Stevan, everyone from the office has been selling in there. But Josh, tell us who's been buying warehouses and storage units, because I think people are scratching their head in an unusual economy, sort of hot and cold and hot and cold. Who's been out there spending the big bucks?
I mean, we have seen a real big piece or chunk of that pie be owner occupiers. I'm not sure if anyone's aware, with 7 Rodborough Road is just down the road from the new biggest Bunnings in Australia. So there's been a lot of tradies as points where they can drop off equipment, move on to the next. There's guys that are holding cars. We're actually seeing a lot of buyers come from North Sydney, Chatswood area to the Frenchs Forest. Traditionally, they wouldn't travel out to Cromer, Brookvale. But Frenchs Forest is close enough for them. So that's something I've really seen a difference in terms of the different buyers we're getting over there. We've really unlocked a new pool towards that North Sydney, Chatswood area. But yeah, a lot of guys that just even hobbies like working on old cars, storage, they want the old, house garage back. You've got businesses. There is a real mixed bag. And I think with, how these are priced, 22 squares is essentially 220,000 plus GST. It hits a really good point with a lot of people that don't see the value in leasing something, but don't yet have that, they're not quite at that spot in their business where they're able to purchase a warehouse. So a storage unit is a perfect starting point with these high clearances, some at 5.1 to 5.5, some at 4.7 to 4.9. That allows you to put a mezzanine level in there as well. So they get to actually expand their footprint by almost double. So they are very, very handy. But yeah, I'd seen a large influx of owner occupiers, and then again, investors.
Probably where are people getting their money from?
Superannuation. Superannuation's been a massive one, even for the owner occupiers. We're seeing them put it in their super and lease it back off their business.
And then would that be half of the sales? Would that be 90% of the sales? Where do you reckon that sits?
I reckon that's going to be pretty high now. I'd say somewhere between 70-75% I'm seeing in the super.
Really?
Yeah, it's been a really big thing. And, at probably towards the start of the project, it would be something that we introduced to them. Hey, guys, have you considered putting it in a self-managed super fund? now I'm actually starting to see that some of the buyers are educated and coming to us and saying, oh yes, I'm going to be putting this in my super, or hey, I'm just setting up a self-managed super fund. We go through that process where, they've got to allocate funds, that sort of thing, in order to exchange. So yeah, it's been a real change in the market there, where buyers are coming in educated with that self-managed super stuff. So yeah, very very enlightening to see that happen, because it's really such an untapped pool of funds and value that that people seem to be slowly educating themselves on and utilizing.
So if you've just tuned in, guys and girls, we're a live show, so you can ask any comments along the way and we'll answer them live on the fly. We're talking about the property that probably a $30 million block of land, probably I think it was about 10,000 metres squared block of land up in French's Forest, across from the biggest Bunnings in Australia, across from a brand new school. After 50 years, they're building a brand new school. And then there's these warehouses, 85 warehouses, which are like 2-story inside, and we've sold most of them. In 1 year, we've done over 200 sales. Storage units downstairs, which are like a garage, but an extra metre longer, an extra metre wider than a garage, and 2 stories high. You can stack 2 cars, so 5.5 metres. And we sold over 150 of those. So there's been almost 30 sales in this building, and it's been extraordinary. And to see the take up from everyone on the Northern Beach has just been so exciting, and everyone's really excited about getting in, renting it out, getting in, occupying it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I'll say one thing I've noticed in commercial, like generally people stepping into commercial first times, they generally start with something like an office, sort of that circa 300, 500 range, where there'd be a small medical, like we've got one in DY physio at the moment. So generally you'd see those buyers move into that sort of area in commercial. But what we're seeing is, with these storage units, your strata rates with your utilities are included for a 22 squared is about $130 per quarter. So you're talking under $550 a year to run your utilities, your strata, and then obviously your council rates will come somewhere in between that sort of $400-600 a year. So you're looking at circa $1,000 in holding costs. So when you're renting these out with a mezzanine at circa $300 plus per week, with GST on top of that, it starts to really make sense on the numbers, which we're not finding in a lot of commercial stock at the moment on the market. With your yields, you're getting a net yield circa 6.57% over there, and it's a really attractive price point. At that 220,000, if it's your first time having a go on commercial, you're not going to find any property on the Northern Beaches for that sort of value. So I think it's a really good first entry level, and it makes sense in the numbers. I'll take someone down to the display suite and you go through it, and it just makes sense.
Off they go. Well, I must admit that my experience from selling this building is educating, which has been different, has been educating people. It's been educating people on the area, because people were used to like a Brookvale, to buy a warehouse or rent a warehouse or storage. So telling them and educating them on the benefits and features of French's Forest has been not hard to do, but a long story. And then when you tell people, they're like, yeah, this really makes sense. So that's been a big thing that I've found, educating people on the area. And I also think that the category, Josh, having to educate, the biggest thing people, when they're looking to buy, is that they're going to make money. Yes, there's function, form, how it looks, how it works for them, but they want to know they're not sinking their money into anything silly. And then educating people as to what's sold similar around, and how that asset class works. Like, it's new storage. Buying a storage unit is crazy new, and people are like, "Can you tell me, like, does it go up in value? And you're like, yeah, well, let's have a look at the ones that have sold, were purchased 10 years ago. They're double now. Out of the buildings that we've sold, and they're like, right, yeah. So we show
And
that growth.
yeah, and I was going to say, like, a lot of the buyers coming across are actually people that have already bought with this developer over at Warriewood. They finished a complex over there with a similar storage warehouse design.
Yeah.
And guys,
Groupies.
everyone that bought in on that complex made money. And that's really the business model of this developer. You jump in early off the plan. Obviously, people can see there's a bit of risk there, but I've got guys that have bought storage units that have made nearly $60,000 and they haven't even settled yet. Just from your increase in sales and the competition and prices moving up towards completion. That sort of money is insane, especially when you're only putting 10% down, guys, which is about $24,000 when you include GST. So you're getting like a 300% return on your capital. And
nicely put. Nicely put.
Yeah, massive.
And also, something that before we go, that we should also mention is I've actually never sold a new property and then sold it for less later. So every single person I've sold a new property to, and there's been a lot, they've made money. So it's actually it's a quite safe place to, I had a lady yesterday that I was showing through, hadn't even considered it. And she was looking at buying an office, and I actually steered her away from the office that she was looking at buying, because I was like, have a look at the capital growth of offices over 10 years. You've seen that, you've seen them, and I said, have a look at what warehouses have done over 10 years. So it's an exceptionally well performing asset class to be purchasing into fact.
Yeah, and I see Lisa's had a little comment down there. One agent failed, Novak nailed, and the sausage sizzle on the Saturday. And I think we do that there, guys, every 12 to 1 up at 252 Allambie Road. If you're ever wanting to know a little bit more, that's been a great way just to break down, you break down the discussion with our buyers coming in, real relaxed vibe. And we've got the ability to actually take you through the site with some early access. So if you're ever looking for a warehouse, looking for a new investment, and what we've spoken about this morning gets you interested, there is still some spots left. Feel free to come down 12 to 1 o'clock over at 252 Allambie Road. Have a look.
Yeah,
and we'll you through.
If you want to know more about what we're talking about, grab the phone number 0460 111 111. 0460. Can you write that in, Josh? I don't know if you can write in where you are. 04. Here, I can do it here. 0460. And this sends the information to you immediately. 0460 111 111, right? And write the word Bunnings on there as well, because when you write the word Bunnings, it'll SMS to that number, and then it'll send you back everything on that, the prices, the videos that we've done, and you can deep dive into the information, or just give us a call. So, yeah.
Fantastic.
Bunnings. I'm just going to write that in there as well. Have a great day.
Yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. But yeah, great development up there, and she's set to complete towards November, December this year. So just around the corner, very exciting, and the project looks amazing. So yeah, down 7 Rodborough Road, French's Forest, guys.
Or it's got 2 addresses. So 252 Allambie Road is where the Barbie is, and then 7 Rodborough Road is where the driveway is. But we're doing that Barbie at 12 o'clock on Saturday, like you said. So you come to the 252 Allambie Road address. Have a lovely day, Mr. Josh.
You too. See you guys.
See you, bud. Bye.